One for present perfect progressive or present perfect continuous tense. All right. Okay, these are quiz to check your understanding. This is so important. Okay. All right, guys. So let's go. So read the instruction. Read the instruction. I understand. Then through the instruction, you can answer this question. Okay. So all right. So here we get to use what we call for and since. So all right, guys. Okay. So these are the questions. Go over this question and check your understanding. It's so important. So please, guys. Okay. So this is quiz one. All right. Just go over from 1 to 4. All right. Okay. Let's go. Quiz 2. Okay. For present perfect progressive is quiz 2. All right. Okay. Just read the instruction, guy. Read the instruction. I understand. Okay. These are words. These are verbs. So just go over this from 1 to 3. Just feed him these words. These are verbs words. Just feed them into these blank spaces. You know what I mean? So just do it to check your understanding. That's the most important thing. Okay. All right, guys. Okay. Quiz 3. Here we're talking about affirmative and negative form. So here there's a sentence given. So you have to change the sentence to a negative and affirmative form. All right. Okay. So yeah, this instruction. Read the instruction carefully. And this is the example. You gotta see these words here. They are disorganized. So you gotta organize these words into affirmative and negative form. So like example here, the answer, Tara hasn't been studying French. So this is the negative form. So the affirmative form gotta be is being studied German. Okay, so he has been studying German. So this is just a little example. Okay, so follow this example to answer this other questions from 1 to 4. All right, so just to check your understanding, guys, make sure you pause the video and go over all this question to check your understanding in present perfect progressive. It can help your understanding. All right. Okay, guys. Okay. Quiz 4. Here, tell me why. You know what I mean? Okay, guys. So go over the instruction. The instruction can help you to understand the question. Okay. The quiz. All right. So example here. Mary eyes are very red. Why? She has been crying all night. So you gotta see here. The first clause here is in present simple. And the second clause is present perfect progressive. So this one, Mary eyes are very red. Why? She has been crying all night. So that's why we say, tell me why. Okay? Give me the reason, the result. All right? So this one, guy, you gotta follow all this example. From the example, you gotta do all this one. So you gotta do from 1 to 4. Then you gotta match from 1 to 4 to A to D. So you gotta match the numbers and the letters. Just take your time and go over it. And form the present perfect progressive. So from the example here, okay, Mary's eyes are very red. Why? She has been crying all night. So the result there, she has been crying all night. And the result is in present perfect progressive. All right, these are clauses. So the first clause is in present simple. Mary eyes are very red. Why? She has been crying all night. So follow this one so you can do the rest. All right, just to check your understanding, guys. So important. All right, we all know that present perfect progressive connect the past with the present progressive. So like simply to understand, connect the past and the present progressive. Yeah. But here you gotta see the phrase here is in present simple and the result is in present perfect progressive. Using tell me why, using the question why the result. Okay. All right, guys. Okay, let's go. Quiz 5. Use the correct question words. So what are these correct question words? The doublet questions. Like example, who, what, there, why, how long. You gotta use this one. All right, in a sentence. So this is what you're gonna use to ask the question. Okay. So here, And the present perfect progressive tense to make information questions. So you gotta use it to make information questions. So here you gotta to remind you that the underlying was are the answer to the question. So the underlying was, you gotta see the underlying was are the answer to the question. So like example here for you to understand clearly. So Joe has been working for that company for 20 years. So for 20 years is the answer here. But how can you answer this one? You need to ask the question. So you need to use this doublet question words to ask the question. So the answer is for 20 years. Alright? So this is just an example to follow so you can answer the rest. So now example, okay? Well, this is one of the example. Okay, so like example, how long has Joe been working for that company? So how long has Joe been working for that company? For 20 years. So for 20 years there is the answer. Alright, so that's why you're going to use all this doublet question to ask the question and answer. Alright, so like example here, you got to see here, for 20 years old, for 20 years, mother, for over an hour, play tennis in the coffee shop. So these are the answers. But what you have to do is use this doublet question, ask the question, and answer with the underlying phrases. Alright, the underlying phrases should be the answer. Alright, okay guys, let's go. Do it to check your understanding. It's so important, guys. Okay, alright. Quiz 6. Okay, this is talking about scramble sentences. When you talk about scramble words, these are disorganized words. We have to organize them. So these are scramble sentences. So okay, so read the instruction carefully and try to answer these questions. Okay, so like example here, this is a scramble word. Like, has that been for company working years for 10? It doesn't make sense. So you have to put these words into orders to make sense. Alright, sentence makes sense. This one doesn't make sense. So alright, so the answer gotta be, he has been working for that company for 10 years. So that's what we call it scramble sentences. So you gotta see here, has that been for company working years for 10? These are the scramble sentence. So you gotta put the sentence into order. So when you put into order, we have, he has been working for that company for 10 years. Alright, just follow the example and try to answer the rest of the questions. Alright, so we have from 1 to 4. Take your time and answer the question. This is really helpful for you. Well, yeah, for you to be perfect on present perfect progressive. When you're perfect on it, then it will help you, because this is an advanced tense. Right? Okay guys, let's go. Quiz 7. To emphasize continuity of the action. So yeah, we gotta emphasize the continuity of the action. But here we gotta use this phrase here, ever since. We gotta use that to emphasize. So we use ever since to emphasize. So let's just give you a little example that you have to follow to answer the other questions. Okay, so like example here, John finished his business degree, then he started to work for a large international company. So you gotta see here, the first sentence is in the past simple, and the second sentence is also in past simple. So this one you gotta see, the first sentence is a clause, the second sentence is a clause. So we use the link word then to link these two sentences to have what? A better result. So in this scenario now, we gotta use ever since. We gotta use ever since as a link, to get the present perfect progressive. We're gonna use ever since. So we're gonna replace then with ever since. But ever since is there to what? To emphasize the continuity of the action. These are action. So that's, you gotta see here, there's two action here, the past and the past. So we connect them to form the present perfect progressive. Alright, so example here, okay. John has been working for a large international company ever since he finished his business degree. So ever since there, we used to emphasize the continuity of this action. Alright, so John has been working for a large international company ever since. So there is more stress there. Ever since he finished his business degree. All right, so you gotta follow this one using ever since and to form present perfect progressive. So most of the sentences they gotta be in the past, so you have to change them to present perfect progressive. So like example here, you gotta set the sentence from 1 to 4. So go over the sentences and make sure